If you had told me that I would be unable to grasp the level of change and improvement and progress that we are appreciating on a daily basis after the second win of President Trump, I would have said there's no way. There's no way. I would have thought you're being a little bit, kind of pie in the sky. I thought it would be okay. He would move in slowly, but before you know it, the usual stuff would, happen, right? Isn't that kind of what you thought? Isn't that what you thought? Well, I, believe it or not, am one of the unable to grasp. And the reason why I'm saying this is, as you know, tonight, I'm going to be taking the stage at 7 o'clock here in New York at the Cutting Room. And I'm going through just a variety of everything that I have to talk about, specifically in subject matter. And the way I work the show is very, very simple. I talk, but you talk, but we talk. It's not the usual subject. There's something that annoys me about, I don't know, having to sit there and listen to somebody give me their jokes and there's a lot of laughing, but it's not meant to make you laugh. You laugh because you can't believe what we've been through. Okay. But as I'm writing everything out, I can't believe there's no end to it. I've never seen anything like this. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. And it sounds like, oh, we're draining the swamp. Oh, no. The swamp is only drained, but it's being like there's a cover over it or something. I don't know what you want. That's like concrete. So tonight, if you want, you can still show up at the door. I think we've got some room here for something that'll just blow your mind, because like I'm telling you, this is a tsunami. And this is a group of people, and I can't say this enough, who have been crushed through this. I never forget. Never. I never forget. I never forget what people do to me. Never. I don't grovel in it. I don't labor under it. I'm not paralyzed by it. No, but I never forget. And anytime I can get you back, I will do it. Anytime. If at all possible, I will do it. And we're going to get these people back like you cannot believe. It's the most incredible story I've ever seen. So my friends, here's to this evening at the Cutting Room. I hope to see you there, because there's a lot of stuff we can't really say here, because we've enjoyed. I thoroughly have enjoyed a lot of the I think there's some leeway. They've kind of relaxed the strictures as to what we can and can't talk about. That's what I believe. I believe to an extent. So we'll see what happens. Let me remind you to subscribe to Lionel Nation and have you like this video. This is the most important. Can't tell you enough. But my friends, I just did a brand new piece, a brand new article, newsletter. I'm going to drop later. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. This is on the Epstein case. And I want folks to recognize, and you to recognize, that what we're doing is a little bit different here. This is what I've always wanted to do. This is my, I don't know what you want to call it. This is my perfect idea of what a news story should be, of what a news program should be. I've been around, for a long time in the usual business, and there's been some great stuff and interesting things in terms of radio and news, but it's so different. It is so transitional. If you see what's happening, this is a citizen grand jury. What we're doing right now. This is hard to explain. This is a citizen grand jury. We are in the middle of exposing, for lack of a better word, the truth in ways we never thought even remotely possible. We are, you might recall, during Vietnam War, really there was the Russell tribunals. They went around the country, and they had experts basically speaking on behalf of the truth and what was happening in terms of the Vietnam War. And regular folks who were just citizens who had an expertise knew more about what is going on than you can imagine. You don't know. If you want to do, let's assume you said, I want to put together a story on people who disbelieve that we landed on the moon. All right. And I'm not going to go into that, but let me just give you this as an example. If somebody were to say, tell me, who would you get? What show would I guess? Oh no, I know one person. He'll destroy you. Very mild-mannered. He's been doing this for 20 years. Knows more about it. Will blow you away, and he'll point you to things that are before you. He will point you. He won't come out. He won't just tell you things that he thinks. He will say, no. This is exactly what happened. And that's what I've always wanted to do. I wanted to have this wonderful thing called Lionel Nation, where we celebrate Americans. And the thing about Americans is that you can't bullshit us. We love to pick everything apart. If it's ridiculous, we will tell you. We will let you know. I want to have this civilian intel organization. You, the experts of this, a citizen grand jury. Many times people will say, well, I watched ABC, NBC. What? Because people don't know this. Well, it's CNN. It's the New York Times. It's like, oh my God. This is a Russell Tribunal. This is something which I'm providing to you. This thing called naked truth. And I know things and you know things, and we have perspectives, subject matter that frankly Americans don't know about. And nobody is talking about. Nobody's even presenting this. I promise you, if you talked about half of what we want to talk about on a regular conventional terrestrial or cable news, they would say, you can't say this. You can't, they're not ready for this. Take Fox News. We'll talk about the Epstein files. But that's it. That's it. Can we talk about it? Oh, no. Wait. We're just gonna talk about the subject matter. Do you want to know who is it? No. Well, how do we discuss the subject matter unless we go into it? No. Who do you think's behind it? Anybody want to talk about the role of Israel and Mossad? And we say Mossad. Mossad is kind of like a metonym. Mossad is Israeli intel. Amman is another group. That's their military intel. We use this word like CIA, Madison Avenue, these metonyms, the Pentagon. There is a third rail allergy to the word Israel in American media unless you absolutely just say, whatever you want. Yes, sir, boss. Whatever. Yeah. Uh-huh. What kind of a country is that? I love when they say, Pam Bondi, God bless Pam Bondi. We want to release. She's got the Epstein files on her desk. Okay. You really want to do that? Okay. First question is, who has the tapes? Who has the evidence? Who has that? I don't care about the list. Where's the evidence? Ooh, listen to the story. When the FBI did a raid, what'd they find? Can I see the inventory, please? Can I see the inventory? Can I bring all these people in? Everybody. So, remember, this is good, but we want more. Americans, if they were ever given the truth, would not be able to sleep at night. And we here refuse to be blindfolded. We are adults. We are tired of this globalist proxy narrative. We are tired of this nonsense, this utter nonsense. Ricardo says, last night, I meant it would be a beautiful sight to see you and Mrs. L in your twilight years holding hands while sitting on a Central Park bench. And we thank you for that. Thank you, sir. Lori Cook says, I love you, Uncle Lenny. Y'all have a great night tonight. I got a funeral. Please tell me a joke to make me laugh. Well, I'll think about that. But my condolences to you. Laurie says, also cash is ATF and FBI. What's up with that? I don't know about that. And where was the president? Why wasn't the president there for his... I don't care. I'm not here to pick anything up. But the old me would have said, what was that about? I don't care. You happy, Mr. President? Good. That's all. Let's move on. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Doesn't matter to me in the least. Doesn't matter to me. But thank you. Thank you for that. Now, a couple things here. Let's talk about what needs to be discussed as well. And first and foremost, let's talk about this thing. I just did this brand new, I hope you see this brand new video. It's right there on the Epstein case. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It is so fascinating. It is so terrific. And Attorney General, by the way, General, she's General Bondi, General Pam Bondi, sent shockwaves. People are scared through Washington. And the president realizes, I'm going to have to show them something, not this thing called the files. I want lists. I want holy. Trump is so pissed off right now. Trump says, I want you to feel 10% of the dread and the sickness I had to. I want you to lawyer up. I want you to have to worry. I want you. Let me tell you something. President Trump might have said, look, deep down inside, I know I didn't do anything. But that doesn't mean that they can't make something up. Do you know the sleepless nights this man had? He may come across as cool and collected. So he's going to make sure everybody, I want everybody's name exposed. Everybody, from Prince Andrew to down the line. What were you doing there? And that means everybody. Everybody. You understand it? Come forward and say, here I was there. I was on a trip. I went on this day. I came there. I was with my family. I was with myself. I left. Okay, fine. Anybody mention me? No. Not everybody there was involved in some kind of, nefarious. So let's go. And where are those materials? Who has them? And why did Ghislaine Maxwell only plead guilty to nothing? This is what Pam Bondi can get to as well. This is what we need to find out. But this client list is sitting on her desk right now, and after years of cover-ups and silence and deep state interference and the swamp, it looks like the truth is finally set to explode. And the radical left and their media puppets have spent years trying to bury this, years trying to bury his connections, years trying to explain the connections. But Pam Bondi's commitment to full transparency under President Trump and under the leadership signals that the days of protecting these jerks are over. But that's not all. Bondi is also diving into the long classified files on the assassinations of JFK and Martin Luther King. And let me also say something. You better go into 9/11 as well. You have to go into 9/11. You want to know what's going on? You really want to know what you want to know? I mean, you got to hear everything. You've got to hear everything. And 9/11, this event that we'll never forget, that event, apparently we have forgotten. We have forgotten, sad to say. Brad Rung says, you missed one of my chats last night talking about Johnny C. and how he got Snoop off as well. I think we said that. He was one of the best attorneys ever lived. I think I mentioned that. I remember you reading that or saying that. Yes. Johnny Cochran. Yes. We were talking about OJ. He was good. Very, very good. And I went to, we talked about that. I talked about him at length, but thank you. I thank you for that. Now, going back to the story at hand, the fact that these records are even being reviewed proves just how much information has been hidden from the public for decades and how effective you've been. See, we haven't let up. We haven't let up. We've never gone away. Trump's administration is doing now what the establishment never dared to do, exposing the truth and telling people this is what happened, no matter how uncomfortable it makes the ruling class. Now, let me also tell you, we also need to go back and find out, for example, if there were settlements made, how do you deal with that? Let's say there was a settlement made. Let's say one of the girls said, I will settle out of court if you, the tortfeasor, the person doing this thing, do not reveal this. You won't reveal it. I won't reveal it. That's great. What if we say, oh, no, we're going to get to it. What if about Virginia Giuffre? Remember, she made allegations about Alan Dershowitz. That was later disproved. She got to get the wrong guy. They settled it. That was dropped. And then Giuffre or Alan sued David Boies, and Boies went back and forth and all this. And it kind of went away, and that's fine. And that's a private settlement. That's over there. But what happens if we say, no, we want to find out what happened? We want to go back and your private individual agreement may not necessarily outweigh our desire, our interest, our focus, our right to have the truth. No. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Do you know how many of these cases, how many of these girls, how many really, and let me explain something also. Let me give you another thing about this. Nobody wants to talk about. You're going to find out that in some respects, Epstein may not have been the monster you thought he was. And what I mean by that is, when you hear this, you might find out that there were scores of girls, scores of women, oftentimes brought to the fore, brought to the case by virtue of girls themselves who were the putative victims. Meaning that the girls who later on we're going to say we were victimized, you're going to find out they went out to recruit new girls. See, one of the things which nobody really wants to get is, this is weird, is that this is not all the time the case of some poor girl being snatched by some guy who jumps out of a van, or people who were hurt or threatened. A lot of times you have girls who were very, not always, but sometimes very sophisticated, who knew exactly what this was and said, fine. Not everybody was underage. And if some were underage, some might have been a little bit underage. Not that it matters. That's like going a little bit over the speed limit. So just understand something. A lot of the people who don't want this to be to be exposed are some folks who don't want you to find out how they went along with this. Think about what I'm saying. This is wild stuff here. Because what they are telling you is that, I wasn't exactly, they didn't put a gun to my head. Really? Now, does that excuse anything? No. But there's a very interesting, an ambit, a ken, so to speak, a frequency of aspects. It's very complicated. But let's find out. But remember, you wanted this. And Virginia Giuffre, you come in here too. If you want to reopen this, all these people who thought, well, I put that behind me, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because let me explain something to you. What people forget, in criminal prosecutions, the victim in a prosecution is the state or the government or the municipality. It's the United States versus the state of New York versus the state of Florida versus. It's not the victim. The victim is the complaining witness. The victim is a victim of the state or the government's victimization. So when they come forward, you can say, wait a minute, I don't want to prosecute this. Excuse me. It's not your call. It's our call. It doesn't work that way. Just like this case involving Eric Adams and Judge Ho here. They're acting like he's appointing a master or an amicus. What are you doing? Your job, Judge Ho, was to protect Eric Adams. Is he being treated fair? That's it. What are you doing? What is all this? What is all this nonsense about these amicus? I don't get it. Anyway, so let me just say something. We're going to get to the bottom of this stuff. And this Epstein list alone, what's really interesting, could destroy the biggest names in politics, entertainment, and finance. And this is what draining the swamp looks like. So understand this. This is big, but the explosion is felt everywhere. It's not just here, it's everywhere. Keep in mind how this thing works. This is an important thing. I can't say that enough. Spandex says, the FBI panty raid on Melania's personal effects, classic hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. She is putting pressure on DJT for retribution. I don't think she has to, but she certainly is, I think, assisting in setting the tone of the ferocity of this. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff's thing was science experiments, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff's thing was science experiments. Okay, I think I know what that means, but yeah, could very well be. When these folks, listen, Jeff is going to be found out to be a setup. Les Wexner, Ehud Barak, who else is in there? Epstein, people give Dershowitz a hard time because he represents somebody. Lawyers represent, criminal lawyers represent people charged with crimes. People charged with crimes don't tend to be choir boys for the most part. But there is a very, very interesting group of people. Who was this about? Ehud Barak. Do you think anybody anywhere is going to be asking the question, was this guy just some cutout, some place setter, some Potemkin village? Do you think they set this guy Epstein up out of nowhere? He was a teacher at Dalton School, never even had any kind of, remember, Bill Barr's father, who was, I think, the headmaster, was responsible in bringing him there. But why was he there? Don't be surprised if they said, okay, you were going to be the front guy. Just like when In-Q-Tel came along, DARPA created the internet, created big tech, and they said, okay, Bill Gates, you're going to be the guy. You and Paul Allen, here's your story. You're in the garage. Okay, fine, good. You're going to do this, and you're going to create this system that's going to be in every home, every business, every governmental entity, and it's going to have these big, huge, porous holes in the background to allow every kind of virus. Remember when viruses, there was a virus, it was a Michelangelo virus, it was this virus, it was that virus. Macs don't have viruses. You know that? Why do you think that is? Well, that's interesting. We don't really know. Well, why don't they have them? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows why they don't have that. Why is there this? Who? So here's your story. You're that. Why? You're the company. Government says, why? The best way for us is it's like a Trojan horse. Here, let this into your home, and then we come out later on. Here's a device. It's called a phone. It's an iPhone. Take it. This is a laptop. Take it. This is a microphone. Take it. This story comes up of Bill Gates and this and that. Well, same thing with not so much Apple, but Bill Gates, Facebook. Oh, that's another great one. Here's these guys. There's these kids. They're at Harvard. They have this kind of this chat. Oh, this is beautiful. We'll help you with this. Okay, you're going to do what we say. Okay, good. Zuckerberg, you're part of it. You're the storyline. You work for us. Got it? Got it. Great. Here's Jeffrey Epstein. Guy comes along, ladies man, perv, whatever it is. Okay. He meets everybody. An endless font of money, fueled by people. Nobody ever even asked him. All of a sudden, he's a billionaire. Well, he wasn't really a billionaire, but nobody knows who he was. He just was there. And going out and culling and recruiting all the people from science and entertainment and sports, all to be a part of his world. Huh? See how that works? Isn't that great? All to be a part of his world. And that's exactly what happened. And he went out and he did it. And it was beautiful. And next to Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. This is great. And they didn't even check to say, is this guy okay? Sure, he's okay. Now remember, Bill Clinton has CIA, has every kind of intel background you can imagine. Prince Andrew has MI5, MI6. They knew exactly who he was. They knew who he was, but they didn't care. Either they didn't care or he was in on it. I don't know. But all of a sudden, he just drew everybody in. That's what he does. That he was the purpose behind this. So they picked him, and it worked great. Ghislaine Maxwell, her father Maxwell. These are intel spooks. They go way back. And what was the bottom line? A collection of blackmail that you can't believe. That's it. And remember one thing. Remember what Uncle Lenny will tell you here. You will never believe how stupid people are. You will never believe how stupid people are. You will never believe in how stupid people are and how they are absolutely the most ridiculous when it comes to losing their minds over women. I'm telling you. It's bizarre. Now listen to this. Listen to me. Are you drowning in debt? You're not alone. New reports show the average person is buried under $8,674 in credit card debt, with total consumer debt soaring to a staggering $104,215, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. It's a financial crisis, and without a real solution, many will keep spiraling deeper. That's why I want to introduce you to a powerful secret weapon that has helped so many regain control. They specialize in consolidating all your debts into one manageable monthly payment and even negotiate a settlement so that you can pay less than you actually owe. Think about this. They've already settled over $275 million in debt. Think about that. Helping people break free in an average of just 28 months. I've personally recommended their services to friends and clients who needed a way out, and now I'm bringing it straight to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. So don't wait. Book a free consultation today, right now, at NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. The link is right under the title here. It's time to take back control of your finances. Act now. Get out of debt and start living the life you deserve. You know, I know this is difficult sometimes for people to grasp. It's a little tough sometimes. I believe me, I understand it. It's very, very difficult. But we're talking sometimes about things that we really have never been a part of. And this is also very difficult. We love to think that we understand this because many of us, for some reason, I remember during the NSA days, people think that they're somehow conversant in spookdom, that they believe in, I don't know what the word is, that they know what's going on. And they know this. They know, I know this. No, we don't know this. No, you don't know this. And what has happened is for the longest time, there has been absolutely nobody in any way in the way of doing this, of stopping this, of being even concerned. These people have gotten away with murder forever. They're not afraid of anything. They're not afraid of you. They're not afraid of me. They're not afraid of anybody. Nothing bothers them. Nothing. Nothing. This is one of those things which is so difficult for people to grasp. Cut Up says, Epstein, their jolly ticket master, a yummy stage. Epstein, their jolly ticket master, a yummy stage. I don't know what that means. But it sounds good. It sounds very, very good. Thank you. Clarity is so sometimes better than poetry. That's all I want to say. I just want to make sure we all understand what's going on. So as this is introduced, you're going to see people run. Bill Clinton is going to get the Sicilian flu. He's already looking bad right now. He's kind of like, he can't close his mouth. He's going to say, I don't know what's going on. I was there, but I don't know. So you're going to need somebody to come forward and say, no, Bill Clinton did this. He did this to me. He did this. And who else? Anybody else? We don't want to know about who was on the list. Well, so-and-so, George Stephanopoulos was at a party. I'm just giving you a name. Okay. Is that it? Well, you're on a list. Let's just pick a name. He threw dinner parties at a criminal stage 4. Okay, again, I'm not sure what this means. He had dinner parties. He had Epstein in New York threw loads of parties. He gave money to universities. He loved science people. Werner Erhard from Est did this. Spandex says, I need a Lionel commentator translation. Yeah, I just, sometimes I don't, it's not me. Just try to be very, very clear. Epstein did this. That's all. Through dinner parties. And people are saying, what does that mean? Well, he did, but that's not what we want. We want to say, let's assume we're talking about Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton did this to this person when she was this years old. Ta-da! That's what we want. That's the story. Make sense? Make sense? That's it. No kidding around here. That's it. Do you think we're going to get that? We don't want the list of names. That's all we're saying. And I'm thinking if you follow through with this, you've got to really come clean with this. Ricardo says, please explain HR 32 if you have time. HR 32? Well, we'll get to that in a moment, but hang on a second. I love the request, but thank you. But let's focus on this. The MLK story. Are you ready for the MLK story? Are you ready for this? Do you really want to know? Does anybody want to know the JFK files? What do you want? I say yes. Tell people. Tell people about 9/11. Tell people. Let me just start with something. Let me just give you an idea of something. I know that. I love to tell people, and we start with this. Did you know on 9/11, on September the 11th, there was something called WTC 7, Building 7. Did you ever know of this? Start off with this today. Everybody you know. I say, Jerry, let me ask you a question. Lorraine, Aunt Edna, come here. Grandpa, let me ask you a question. Did you ever hear of Building 7? Watch what happened. No. Did you ever Building 7? Remember 9/11? Of course I remember 9/11. The Twin Towers? Of course I remember. Do you remember Building 7? No. Number one, why is that? Start with that. Ease into it. Ease into it. Don't jump them. Don't overwhelm them with your knowledge. Don't just transform my, but you understand, let's pull it, Silver City, here's somebody, and Solomon Brothers building in the BBC. Stop it. Don't do that, because this is what people do. You got to pull people in. What is that? Oh, that was the third building that fell that day. Huh. Now, don't make people feel stupid. You did, and people always do this. You never heard of Building 7? Don't ever do this. Hey, did you ever hear of a Marine? You never heard of string theory? Don't ever. People love to do that. I like when somebody says, no, I never did. You mean to tell me you never heard of Creedence Clearwater Revival? You didn't. What? People love to tell you how smart they are. Oh, they love it. And they're the worst teachers. Never do that. And let people ask you. And even pretend. I didn't know anything about that either. Nobody ever talked about it. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Did you ever hear about any kind of, when was the last time you heard of a building falling down? Ask them this question. What? Did you ever hear about a building falling down? A building. Any building. Except one that was deliberately, through demolition. But have you ever heard of that? No. Isn't that something? It sure is. I never heard of that. I know. And when people realize it, they'll say, and it's very slow. They say, you know, you're right about that. You know, I didn't know this, but I was reading about buildings that have been on fire for days. There was one in Spain and one in Japan. They don't fall. They burn out. To make a building fall, you got to like knock out the support. You pow, pow, you know, you get rid of them. It's like anything else. It's like having cans, and you stack them up and you light them, and but you have to have something that. And when it hits them, they'll say to you, "I never thought of that." I was like, "I know, it's the weirdest thing." I've heard of planes falling out of the sky. I've heard of sometimes maybe in China they have some bad construction, but a building. Hey, did you hear about this series? It's the damnedest thing. You know, this building caught on fire, it fell down. Wow. Okay, now you've set their head. Like, oh, I'm right about that. And you know what's funny about that, Joe? At 5:20 p.m. on that day, this building 7 fell, and nobody said a word. And you know what else is interesting? I didn't know this. Always pretend you didn't know this. Even if you lie, tell them, I didn't know this. Did you know it wasn't hit by anything? What? It wasn't hit by anything. It wasn't hit by anything. Nope. That's the weird. Isn't that weird? Yeah. It just fell. I mean, there was a fire and some things, but why don't you think they ever said anything about that? Why didn't anybody ever ask about that? Just set them, and always want people coming to you. Don't overwhelm them with your knowledge. Don't do that. Don't talk about, whether it's JFK, and there's always one, think like a trial lawyer. There's always this one thing, like, I didn't know that. Isn't that weird? Yeah. Huh. That's the weirdest thing. I've been watching this O.J. Simpson case on Netflix. It's really interesting. And it's some of the stuff which happened in the old days. In any event. And then you can talk about JFK. JFK is so interesting. I love this one. The one fact, and you can dispute it or not, but the one that people talk about all the time, which I think is the most important. One fact, one only. I don't care about the pain and the landlady and this and the tippet and the no. What about the recording, the allegation that there was a bullet in the windshield coming from this way when the bad guy was behind him and the bullet's going that way? How did this bullet come in? And why did they correct this right away? Why did they send this? This is evidence. Send it to the factory to have the windshield replaced. That's the one. That is a conspiracy. That's it. That's it. You can argue all day long about, well, did Mac Wallace know? Did they know? Did J. Edgar Hoover know? Or who was the one who changed the parade route? Explain that bullet. You can't have, this guy cannot shoot a bullet that goes like this, comes back. Magic bullet. We can talk about that one too. That's the one. That's the one fact. And that just like, it gets their attention. And that's it. And you don't overwhelm them with things. You don't overwhelm. You don't have to say like, oh, geez, I can't follow that. And then I mean, come back. And then there's the grassy knoll. What about it? What about the guy with it? And then there was a deaf man. There was Woody Harrelson's father. No. Stop. Very, very simple. Building 7. And if you really want to get into it, how come at Shanksville there's no plane there? I just find that. I don't. How's that? You see, you can fool anybody with anything. The American people, imagine this. If I said to you, what do? I'm a magician. Great. I'm going to book you for a group this weekend. Great. Oh, I forgot to say something. They're blind. They're blind. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm a magician. I know. But they won't be able to see. Doesn't matter. They just hear this. Ta-da! And when they hear that, they start clapping. They don't see it? Nope. And they don't even care. They're just telling them. This is an act. Ta-da! Why? I don't know. They were raised that way. Nobody's ever said, excuse me, we're blind. We don't know what you're doing. You know, we can hear music, but we can't see. No, they don't. That's the American people. We don't ask any questions. Nothing. Nothing. Stand over here. Okay. Stand on that adhesive strip, that circle. Okay. Wear this mask. Okay. Does the mask prevent anything? No. Okay. And don't go outside without the mask. Okay. And you got a cloth mask, and the cloth mask is even less. The N95, no. Okay. Here, take this. What is it? I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Did they test it? Nope. Okay. Take it. All right. We'll give you, you go like that, you can put this picture up in Facebook. Okay. By the way, we got a new one. It's a booster. It's a booster. Go take it. Okay. You know what's in it? Maybe. Go take it. Does it work? Go take it. Can't go to work if you don't take it. Can't go on the bus if you don't take it. Want to have a contact tracing? Want to have one of these things? We got an app? Yeah. We can have an app. Wow. Did you ever remember the device on your phone, on your iPhone, that lets you know when you were near somebody who might have been positive? Remember that? Americans will believe anything. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. And they even feel it's un-American to even ask. Okay. Oh, Pilgrim says, reinvestigate Vegas. Nobody cares. You got to explain too much about Vegas. You know, Paddock. What? The guy with the shooting. What? The guy with the you know, that thing. What? The fellow at the hotel who shot these people, and he had all of this equipment, and there's no way he could have. Good luck. Good luck. I'm not gonna do this. But Americans don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't really care. I don't understand it. And then there's these people who just, it's like, what do you want to do? I just want to go to CPAC. CPAC? I keep thinking CPAC. What do you want to go to CPAC for? I don't know. I'm going to go to the Ronald Reagan package for $20,000. I'm going to get to meet Lena Haba. What is the matter with you? I don't know. I got those people I got to deal with. You think the Democrats are bad? These people are worse because they're into this thing about, we're one, we love Trump. Okay, great. But what do you want to do? I don't know, whatever. But it's great. Okay. Well, what do you think he's going to... So remember something. Our work's cut out for us. Because nothing happens unless we invigorate and inspire people to care. And if they don't care about something, we're wasting our time. If they don't care about this, we're wasting our time. If we don't get them to pay attention to what's going on, we're wasting our time. You got this? Ricardo says, in my former employ, retired, been to quite a few controlled demolitions, ground zero classic, spiffs and all. Well, a lot of people, look at this. Lionel, both parties have conventions. We're not talking about conventions. I'm not talking about conventions. Not talking about that. It's not what I'm talking about. Work with me. Work with me. How is it that we shake the country into saying, yeah, let's get to the bottom of this? You're going to have to retrain them to think differently. Most people don't even want to do this. They'll talk about Americans love to talk about, like was it Maine, about transgender. Oh my God. Now that's interesting, but I think we pretty much got that taken care of. And then there was a condom story, and with a condom, okay, that's wrong too. That's right. There's no way kids should be. I understand kids should not be buying condoms. That's an important thing as well. That's critical. But we've got to be able to train people to say, no, this is good stuff. Because if we release the JFK stuff, nobody's asking for that. Nobody. You're asking for it, but most people are saying, what's the deal with JFK? Because it's bullshit. The story's bullshit. Don't you understand it? It is. Yes. They're hiding this. We killed somebody. Either we or I don't know who we are, if it's the ACA. We don't really know. We don't have an actual signature, but there's no interest in this. There's no, people aren't, dare I say, conspiratorial or whatever the particular word is. That's what we got to get to the bottom of. We got to get to the bottom of this. And that's why Elon's going to help with that. You see with this one where his baby mama is suing him for paternity? You sure you want to do that? I mean, do you really want to? I mean, has he? I mean, it's none of my business. But did you check with him? Did you say, listen, Elon, is this? Do you want to do this? Do you really want to go after the biggest man, the richest person, who, by the way, is so beloved? And once you get the idea, like, wait a minute, if you look like a gold digger, I don't know. But I always wonder about that. Why do people do this? Do they understand what's happening? I don't know. And why was the president at Kash Patel's thing? I just want to know. And Kash Patel said, this is effing. Kash sounded like a kid, like he won a prize. He didn't have that, which is fine. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But now that we got everybody lined up, they've got to double up on the DOGE stuff. The really double. And remember, it's a drop in the bucket. The debt service alone on the debt is it doesn't matter. I want everybody. See where Trump is going to, he's repealing, or he's going to sell the Nancy Pelosi building. He's going after everything. We have to go after their soul. We have to go after their dreams. We have to go after their heroes. We have to go after their mentality. We have to do stuff really symbolic and bold and loud and nasty and really make a difference. Really, really, really make these people know just how serious we are, how absolutely, positively serious we are. We are not kidding around. And it's begun. It's only been a month. It's only been a month. And this left, they have no idea. Do you see what they got? They got NBC, MSNBC for $30 million. Another libel suit where they said something where they accuse some doctor of uterus transplants. I mean, is there anybody in charge? And they have been completely disconnected from NBC. You're going to see people like Rachel Maddow and all these other people laughed at. They're going to be looked at as though they were a part of, like, the Keystone Cops or something, like literal versions of Ted Baxter. We have to go after them. We have to go after George Clooney. We have to go after Tom Hanks. We have to go after all of these people, and Barbara Streisand and De Niro and Rob Reiner. Where's Rob Reiner? Where is he? Who knows? He's like in rehab or something. Where did that USAID money? Did it go after the Kennedys? Where did this money come from? How much? 4.5 to 5 million credit cards? It may not necessarily put a dent in the debt, but we're going to find out how many people, how much of Hollywood was promoted by this. How many people in Hollywood were actually promoted, were given money? How many of these stars who never, Sharon Stone, or who haven't had a movie in whatever, how are they living in this luxury? How does this work? Are they part of this permanent group of, I don't know what the word is, propagandists who promote the line? I don't know, but it's fascinating. And we got to get to the bottom of this. And we got to have different divisions that go through this. Find out how much did De Niro get? How much money of your money, of my money, did they get? Why are we doing this? How did Samantha Power for so long work under this USAID nonsense. How did this happen? Ladies and gentlemen, I say this again to you and everyone else. We've got to get to the bottom of this. I can't be any more serious than this. I can't be. This is the beginning. I want every level from 9/11 to JFK to COVID to this to Epstein to Hollywood to the lies of Ukraine, the lies of what's going on, the lies of everything from Blinken and others, and to go after this and to let people know we mean business. We are not kidding around. I want this to be an absolute disaster. And more importantly, this is my dream. I want us to go to at least 3 election cycles where the Democrats are just destroyed. I want that Crockett pilloried and primaried. Let me say this again. Forget CPAC, forget all this jazz, forget this stuff. You've got to destroy the Democratic Party. Destroy them. You got to be a laughing stock. When you hear the name AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, who's nowhere to be found, by the way, and this Crockett dame, you want to laugh. Laugh. The way they laughed at George Santos, and they should, we laugh at them. NBC, laugh. ABC, laugh. MSDNC, laugh. CNN, laugh. Laugh, 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 laugh. This whole collective, this radical left, liberal, whatever you want to call this thing, laughed at. It's a joke. It's ridiculous. Nobody cares. Then midterms come along, they die. They die. Nothing. No uptick. Break. Next one. I want to go through 3 cycles. I want to set up for J.D. Vance, whoever's not. I think he'd be perfect, and move on. We've got to think long term. Don't focus on little things like this. And hey, what about, let's get to the bottom of that Vegas. I mean, that's important, but I don't care about that. The only reason I care about 9/11 is if it matters down the line. We talked about drones, about drone attack. What about that? What happened to Vegas? We can't be this group, this country that allows ourselves to just forget constantly. We're the United States of amnesia. We have the attention span of a gnat. We talk about something one day and we're done. We have the fires in California, then we're done. We had the fires in Lahaina, and we're done. We had the fires in Northern California, and we're done. Somebody mentions direct energy weapons, we're done. We don't focus on anything. And the best part about it, now that we've knocked, the radical left out of the way, you think Harris Faulkner is going to go into direct energy weapons because they're going to say, is that Jewish laser stuff? That wasn't Jewish laser. But who is it? Who is going to get our message out? Who? Cable? No, us. The Russell tribunals. We're going to we have to change the way people think. It's not just about, oh, here's a fact. This is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, that's worrisome. You better run, says, as to JFK, government and media lies. Imagine what had happened if they posted lying road signs every 10 miles. And government lies and secrets dangerous to everyone's destination. What if they posted lying road signs every 10 miles? Okay, interesting. I don't know if I understand that. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I think, are we being metaphorically if they had, I don't know. This is, your comments are very good. Always keep me on my toes. I was like, what did that mean? I think this is why I always, true or false test, I always talked myself out of the answer because I was like, well, that's too obvious. That can't be it. Oh, did they mean this? Does it? But thank you. I want people to say they lied to you. They lied to you. They lied to you. They lied to you. Anybody have an idea about how they tried to assassinate President Trump? No. Anybody have it? No. Whatever happened? I don't know. Did we ever get to the bottom of that? Nope. Next. We just move on. Really, they tried to take him out 3 times, if you think about it. So we have to change the way we are thinking. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This is it. Here's my belief. I don't care about parties. I don't care about names. I don't care about who does what. I don't care about Mar-a-Lago or whoever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't want to take selfies with people. They work for me. I've been through now, this is our 10th year since 2015. I think June when he came down the escalator, 2015. I want my country back. Not make America great again, but as James Wood says, make America America again. I want to get to the bottom of this. I'm not here to play like with those CPAC phonies who just want to sit around and be the cool kids. They want to be like the cheerleaders. Aren't we cool? We're on the float. School spirit. Yay. I don't know what this is. What are you doing? What are you accomplishing? I don't know. You're going to raise money? Are you putting money in voter registration? What are you doing? No, we're just here. We're just going to get dressed up and we're going to go to the ball. And I'm going to try to get a selfie with Kristi Noem. Okay, that's great. And then what? What are you going to do? I don't know. Go back. See, this is war. We're guerrillas. We're the resistance. I don't know how to say this. I don't have time for this stuff. These people don't impress me. I don't care about them. I want to pick our subjects very, very carefully. Thankfully, the president has been quiet about abortion. Stay away from that. Stay away from abortion. Stay away from Andrew Tate. I'm telling you. Focus on a couple of, maybe 3 issues. Also, don't forget the people that brought you to the dance. I want to see Amish. I want to see the black folks. I want to see gays. The gay contingent did more to help President Trump than anybody else. I want to see that. I want to see those. I want to see a cacophony. I want to see a veritable mélange, a pastiche, a myriad, a mosaic of every kind of group there is. I want to show these people that we are a party, I guess, if whatever the Republicans or whoever they are, or we're a country of every color, every size and shape and age and denomination and wealth level you can imagine. Period. That's what I want. We're not a bunch of people walking around in ball gowns trying to get into the Ronald Reagan dinner. You have no idea how it comes across as being hoity-toity and exclusive, and I hate that. I hate it. You don't need this. Invite regular people. Open it up. People are going to say, well, no, that's a political action committee. I don't care what it is. It looks like a bunch of, that's not what people, they have to think about the way things look. Spandex says, DJT established a new cabinet post. Count de Monet. Very good. All right, my friends, listen. I've got a hell of a day. I've got to work on the show. Tonight, I hope to see you. I'm going to be at the cutting room, ready to go. Doors open at 6. I'm going to be there on 7. I want to meet everybody there is. Everybody, if you want to know where it is, it's on 32nd between Park and Mad. It's one of the best venues, great food, but the chance to meet people. And remember, I'm in this for the long haul. This is serious to me. This isn't just like, oh, we're going to say, sports commentators. You got to say like, well, it's a game. Stephen A. Smith went, okay, it's a game. That's this year. Okay. You got the season next year. And then we got preseason. We got spring training. And it's just this, it's not life and death. If the Yankees win, they don't win, what are you going to do? Come back the next time. People keep showing up. This isn't sports. This is real life. This is the future. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. Make sure you sign up for, subscribe to Lionel Nation. I'm going to be doing some videos during the day. I want to thank you. Spandex, thank you. That's Worrisome. Thank you, Ricardo. Pilgrim. Hispanics Cut Up Chatter. Thank you. Lori Cuck. My condolences. Spandex, Brad Rung, and you. And thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, because I'll be busy later. Have a great and a glorious day. Remember, Lionel Nation. Go see this video right now. Did you see it? But just go up. It's called The Deep State. The Deep State is freaking out. Is freaking. Pam Bondi and President Trump prepare to release Epstein's client list. I'll put a link to it right now. Go watch this. There we go. That's the one you're going to watch. It's beauteous. All right, my friends. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change me that sincerely. Have a great day. I think I told you that. And until we meet again, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.